Would you rather be known for doing too much or doing too little? Again, your personal brand, how you carry yourself in the office. Would you rather your employer, your supervisor, your coworkers to know you as somebody that does too much or do too little? Part of being a corporate America boss is standing out from everybody else. Well, if I've always had to choose the two, I've always decided that I'm going to be rather someone that does too much rather than too little. Because there's more pros to being somebody that's known for doing too much than doing too little. Now, when you think about that, a lot of times people think in terms of, well, if I'm doing too much, then I don't want to be extra. Well, if you want to separate yourself from everybody else, you would rather be known as doing the extra things that everybody else is not doing rather than just doing what everybody else is doing. Because otherwise, you're just like everybody else. But when you ask yourself that question, you really need to think about, consider the source. A lot of times people are afraid of having that brand of doing too much because they don't want other people to feel some type of way in their office. They don't want other coworkers to feel like they are taking away their credit or their limelight. But in all honesty, is that person's opinion at the office that you're worried about somebody that's known as doing too much or too little? Whenever I was in the office and whenever I heard someone say that, before I would react or before I would even give any type of input to it, I would always ask myself, okay, let me look at the person who's saying this. Let me consider the source. Is this an employee in office that typically does too much and go the extra mile? Or is this somebody that does too little? 99.9% of the time, the only people that's going to say that is somebody that does too little. Because deep down inside, you're highlighting what they should be doing, and they don't want you to now be a beacon to their supervisor of what they're not doing. Because again, at the end of the day, this is about positioning yourself so you are able to be the one that they choose for that next promotion, for that next pay raise, or even for the next opportunity, even if it's at another company. Your brand means everything. Your brand carries with you no matter what company you decide to go to. So ask yourself, is this somebody that does too much or does too little? Then you also got to ask yourself, well, which one of these helps me stand out? If you're an employee, if you are the boss or the supervisor of a company, would you rather promote somebody that is known as doing too much and going that extra mile, or somebody that does too little? Because I promise you this, the person that does too little, they're not going to consider giving you extra pay increases, extra responsibility. Because part of promotion is responsibility. So are you ready to take on that responsibility? And why would they give that extra responsibility to somebody who does too little? If you do too little in the current position you have now, well, then why should they give you more responsibilities to do even too little with the more responsibilities? It just doesn't really make sense. And what I mean in terms of doing too much, it means doing too much of what is needed. So if you see that every day at this time your supervisor organizes these files or does this and do that, is that something that you're able to do ahead of time while at the same time still performing your daily tasks at the highest level? And if so, then why not do it? If that's something that can make their job easier, then why not do it? That's something I talk about in my book, Corporate America Boss, is my job is to make your job easier. It's simply because if you could take off one burden for them, well, you never know if somewhere down the line, they may be able to help you take off a burden for yourself. So again, you really just need to ask yourself this: do you want to be known as doing too much or doing too little? And also, when you do this, it forms a habit. It becomes a lifestyle. You're doing this for your brand. You're not doing it because I have to do it or because I see this promotion coming up in the next few days. But more importantly, it gives you that extra confidence that you need when you do go to that interview for that next promotion. Because now you're known as somebody that always goes the extra mile and doing a little more than what is required. Well, now that gives you that extra confidence in the interview, because that's something that no employer, no supervisor, they can't teach that. That's something you either have in you or you don't. It's a mindset that you have. So again, just ask yourself, do you want to be known as somebody that does too much or do too little? At the end of the day, the choice is yours. But don't be upset about the results that you didn't get for the work that you didn't do. for the mindset that you didn't do. Remember, to get these promotions, there has to be something about you that stands out from everybody else. It has to be. And it's not always what you think in terms of what's on paper. It's the small, little, intangible things that make the biggest difference. So again, don't just be an employee, become a corporate America boss.